Hey everybody, Jim Dexter with Tactically Sound Training Center and STI's Tactical Team 2011. Want to take a minute today to go over my new Staccato P optics version. Depending on what nomenclature you guys have seen, it's either the Staccato P Duo or the Staccato P Gen 2 host. Either way, it's the STI Staccato P 2011 that allows you to mount an optic onto your pistol. So when the gun arrives, it comes with the rear plate with the rear sight installed onto it, as well as inside the front pouch, all of the pieces that you need to either mount a Leupold Delta Point Pro or a Trijicon RMR. I'm going to go ahead and go through the process and just show you guys how this works out as the install goes. So there's all the Allen wrenches that you could possibly need, probably for any job that requires an Allen wrench, but specifically to get this up and running with your optic of choice. So all you have to do is just look at the labels that are on here, and it tells you which Allen wrench you need for which job. So we're going to take the original shipped plate with that rear sight on there, and we'll remove those plate screws and set those to the side. Those are the screws that provide the base attachment for our sighting system, whether it be the iron sight or the optics plate. Now, as we remove this right here is what makes this the Gen 2 host or the Duo. This is the mill for a Delta Point Pro. So if you're going to run a Delta Point Pro, you would simply mount your DPP directly to the milled space in this Staccato P Duo and utilize the Delta Point Pro screws that came with your optic, and you're good to go. This was designed specifically to work for a direct mount of the Delta Point Pro. Now, if you're running an RMR, you simply just need to use the RMR plate with the RMR kit. And again, this comes with everything you need, including the correct size screws for your RMR to attach your RMR to the plate. One of the things you need to make sure to do is we'll go ahead and remove those RMR screws. You'll see as we go to install this plate on there, if they're sticking out a little bit at the bottom, the plate may not seat all the way, and you don't want to make sure that you mess up any of the threads or anything on there. So you want to go ahead and remove that. You'll see one of the nice things about this, the little attention to detail in here in the plating system and some of the issues with multi-optics plating systems and their ability to be installed and be reliable, is that there's tabs in here that secure the plate into the firearm itself. So it's not just sitting on top. It actually will go into the frame of the firearm itself. So slide those tabs in and set it down. You'll see it's a nice tight mate there between the frame and the optics plate itself. And you're already ready to go with a co-witness rear sight to work with this very nice Dawson fiber optic front sight. Get that seated down. You want to make sure that you're using Loctite. I'm not using Loctite today because I got a bunch of other stuff that I need to do with this gun for demo purposes and just checking different things out. So I'm not Loctiting today, but it includes 242 Loctite in the package and instructions on ensuring that you're using Loctite when you install any of these screws, whether it be for the mounting plate or for the optic itself. Personally, I use VC3, the red Vibratite, for my optic screws itself. But go ahead and use the suggested manufacturer 242 Loctite for the base itself. So go ahead and get this down in here. Tighten your optic plate down. And then we're going to just go ahead and mount the optic up on here. In this case, I have a Trijicon RM09, a 1 MOA adjustable LED. You'll see nice little recoil bosses right on top. Get that seated down on there. Little tap on the sides here to make sure it's seated all the way. Again, make sure you're going to Loctite your screws on if it's going to be a long-term install for function of the gun. And then use the correct Allen wrench of the million Allen wrenches that there are. Nice thing is, again, the bag has a list of all of the wrenches that are on there that you could possibly need for the install of the optics and the plates. I always torque down to about 18 inch-pounds. I don't have the factory recommended torque from STI yet. I'll get that and I'll update in the comments when I do get that. But I always VC3 Vibratite and torque down. And then really one of the most important post-install things is to put witness marks. I always put witness marks just to ensure that my optic screws aren't moving at all. And so there, now I have an up and ready to go Staccato P Duo or a Gen 2 host with a Trijicon RMR. Again, if I wanted to use the Delta Point Pro, I would have just mounted it directly on there and not used the plate. And you'll see that I have co-witnessed iron sights set up ready to go right on that plate. Dot centered on there, nice, very nicely, and it's very, very secure. This thing's not going anywhere. It's a pretty solid plating system with the addition of the tabs and the way that this thing is milled down in there. The tab system combined with the screws that are in there do a really good job of keeping this nice and solid locked up to the frame. So I don't have to worry about if I'm doing any manipulations off my optic, such as if I'm doing a one-handed reload or if I'm working it off a shield. There's not really going to be any issues at all with this plate coming loose or any issues with MOA shift from the plate itself shifting. So that's just a quick down and dirty information on how to get your Staccato P Duo or Gen 2 host up and running with your optic of choice. Here in the near future, hopefully I'm going to have a Delta Point Pro accessible that I can show you guys what it's going to look like if we pull all this off and directly mount a Delta Point Pro on there. So you guys have a general idea of the difference between the two offerings, between an RMR and a Delta Point Pro. So hey guys, STI is listening, they are watching. So go ahead and throw it down in the comments if there's another optic that you would like to see. If you're getting ready to purchase one of these or you're considering purchasing an optics ready STI 2011 in the future, go ahead and throw it on in there what you want to see for the future of the plates that are available for the Staccato and for future offerings of the optics ready STI. All right guys, get trained, stay equipped, and be willing.